So, you're looking at the face of someone who was supposed to be flying today. It's 9th of September, and I was supposed to be flying to London today, but unfortunately, because my visa has not arrived yet, so I have to reschedule the flight. And basically, I hope to be flying sometime this month, so like in the month of September. And there's nothing much I can do about it, so it's all good. So I thought that I would just work on like my next YouTube video. And essentially in this video, I just want to like run you all through the process of applying for the visa, so the high potential visa, and my tips and tricks on it. Also a bit more about like my personal experience. And I think the very important question that some of you might have: should I apply for a job before I apply for the visa, or should I apply for the visa first before applying for the job? So stay tuned to find out the answer to that question. Okay, so another thing is I just want to like clarify what my position is in this whole thing. Like, did I apply for the visa first? Did I apply for the job first? Whatnot, so that you get an idea of like how my situation would be applicable to yours. So for me, I actually waited for my job offer first. So when I applied for my job, I indicated that I have the right to work in the UK, and they did like have this like comment section where I could state like, okay, I'm eligible for the high potential visa. So when I was in the whole process of like being interviewed, which roughly took about like I would say 5 to 6 weeks. I think that's a relatively long process, but it's also like that for most jobs, I believe. Okay, so let's begin by a simple Google search, as we do with everything. So high potential individual visa UK, and it's the first link. So just click on that, and that brings us to the UK page. So over here, you can literally see that it's pretty informative. They have like an overview on what the visa is about, eligibility, knowledge of English, yada yada yada. So essentially, what this high potential individual visa is, it's a recently new visa that got rolled out. And for this visa, what you will get is a permission to stay in the UK for at least 2 years, and in these 2 years, you're not bonded to any employer. So this is the key difference between the high potential individual visa and the skilled worker visa. So typically for skilled worker visa, you have to kind of check whether or not your employer can sponsor you for the visa. Otherwise, if you are applying from outside of the UK, you don't have the right to work in the UK, then you face the issue of like not being able to have the right to work essentially. So that's one of the key benefits of this visa, is that your employer does not need to sponsor you, and that really opens up a lot of doors. You can literally work in anything, but your main consideration, or at least one of my main considerations, was that I have to be working in something that at least pays me decently enough to be living I guess like comfortably with some savings, and also being able to have like job progression and whatnot. Okay, so in this page, you will see that it kind of like gives you an overview of like, if your family is from the EU, then what does this visa mean for you? And if you are if you're applying from outside of the UK, then how does this process work for you? So how long you can stay? Basically, this visa is for at least 2 years. So 2 years for those who have graduated with bachelor's, and 3 years for those who have graduated with a PhD or doctoral qualification, as stated here. So if you want to stay longer, you have to find a different visa, so a skilled worker visa. And I think one of the things is that if you use the high potential visa, you work in the UK for a while, I think it will probably be easier for you to find an employer who is able to sponsor you in the long run. Right, so if you're applying from outside of the UK, just simply click on this link, and it will redirect you. Okay, so as you can see here, if you want to apply for the high potential individual visa, what are documents that you need to apply? So just click on this, and it will show you like a list of documents. But before that, yes, you have to check your eligibility. So to check for your eligibility, what you need to do is simply click on this. So your eligibility depends on whether you have graduated from an eligible university, and you must apply within 5 years of being awarded with that qualification. So just click on this link, and you'll find out the list. So for me, I applied from Singapore and I graduated from NUS in 2021, so in June 2021 to be specific. So over here you can see the list. So just check on like the month and year you awarded your qualification. So for me, I would be clicking on 1st November to 2020, sorry, 1st November 2020 to 31st October 2021. And over here you can see the whole list of rankings. So as you can see here, NTU, NUS, these two universities are eligible, and if you've graduated from that, then go ahead and apply. So you can see the whole list here. It's a list of 50. Yes, it's a list of 50. And how they come with this list is essentially like top 50 rankings which appeared from on 2 or more lists. Right, okay, so and now you're eligible, and let's get into the application process. So in order to apply, what you need to do first is you need to apply for this thing called the ECCTIS certification. So you can find out more details about this over here on this website again. So we're just kind of going to rely on this website as a baseline of referring and like trying to get the information. I find that like it's easier if you have something kind of like concrete to rely on. Of course you can watch all these YouTube videos, you can like search online, etc., but always go back to their main government website in order to find out whether there's any changes or anything that you should be taking note of. Okay, so documents you need to apply. So when you apply, of course you need to have a valid passport. I think I must emphasize that please check your passport validity. So check that it has at least 2 years, or I feel like 3 years is the best. So if your passport has expired, of course get that renewed ASAP. I think just get it renewed in general. In Singapore, I believe like they have made it into like a 10-year kind of validity period. So 10 years, a lot of time compared to the previous 5 years. And during COVID, not a lot of people renewed because we weren't going anywhere. Right, so you need the passport, and then you need to show like your proof of knowledge of English. So this is more applicable to those who are outside this list. So what you need to do is just click on this knowledge of English, and it redirects you to this page that shows that you have to prove that you can read, write, speak, and understand English to at least the level B1 on this CEFR scale. So if you have obviously graduated from a university in Singapore, you'll be able to apply for this. So if you graduated from NUS or NTU, you'll be fine. And what you need to do is you need to apply through this thing called ECCTIS. So they will do a confirmation to check whether or not your qualification is equivalent to the UK's bachelor's degree. So countries that don't need to prove their knowledge of English will be the following countries here. So all this list of countries here, and you can see that this list of countries also have universities that are in this like global ranking. So for this universities, like for the university in the US, they don't have to show the proof of knowledge of English. Right, so unfortunately for Singapore, we need to prove that, even though like our whole education system is in English. So anyway, when you click on that link, it redirects you to this ECCTIS page. So in this ECCTIS page, it shows like visas and nationality services. The same service is used for the skilled worker application as well, when you need to check, you need to verify your degree qualification. But do take note, it's slightly different. So there is one that is the normal checking. So you can see here there's like different types of services. So there's one that is like visas and nationality service English proficiency. This is a PhD verification, etc. But take note, there's also one for high potential individual. So remember to click on the correct one. And because if you're applying from Singapore, you need to apply to the one that also proves your English proficiency. So you can see here, it's very nicely written exactly what documents you require. So you require your final certificate. So that's the certificate that you're given. It shows like, you've been conferred this degree on this date. And then you need your official transcript. So this is the one that I believe, at least for NUS, I think it should be the same for NTU now as well, that they'll send you like this open cert link, and you just like download that link and make sure like you convert it to a PDF version as well. Right, and we also need to look at like certified translation, so that won't be applicable to you if you're applying from Singapore. and also this medium of instruction letter if you need to evidence your English language proficiency. So let me just show you where you can get this medium of letter. So what you do, just Google is really your best friend. Just copy this and then type in NUS. Okay. So usually like your student status letters can also will also contain this, but for if you're an alumni, you won't have that. Waiting. Connection failed. Wow. I also have the link to the office form, but I advise just go and search for this first. So anyway, in this like office form, very nice of them. You just have to ask what type of letter do I want. So I want a certification letter, so not a student status letter. Okay, purpose of the letter. So over here you can write like applying for like a high potential individual visa application, and then mode of collection, just get it emailed. And just type in your email address, your full name, your date of birth, your NRIC, your student ID, go and dig it out and find it. And then yeah, your email address, etc. and remarks and whatsoever. Okay, so after that, what they'll send you is like this letter. They'll send it to you within like 5 working days. If I recall correctly, I got mine in like 2, so they're very efficient and fast. I love you, NUS. Okay, so now we kind of have like all the things that we need for this certification. So just submit all this, and how much does it cost? Yep, very important question. So it costs £210, and you have to pay this thing called VAT. I think it's similar to GST, so paid like £7.50. Do we call it cents there? I don't know. Anyway, paid that amount, and you have to give it 30 working days, by the way. So here's the thing, there's no priority line for this high potential individual with English proficiency. So I have messaged them and checked on your behalf. No, it's more like I needed to, but anyway, so you cannot expedite this process. You have to give it 30 working days. And I think like depending on when exactly you apply, it could be faster, it could be slower. So I would say just like account for 30 working days. It should come by then. And for if let's say you're applying for like the visas and nationality service for English proficiency, basically the non-high potential individual visa one, you can expedite that. I think you can pay an additional fee and you can get it within like 48 hours, but that's not for this process. So 30 working days. So going back to that other one, like the other verification thing that you can do, so that's for like skilled worker visa. For that, I think it takes 10 to 15 working days, and again, like I said, you can expedite that process. It's not applicable in our case, so we don't care about that. Okay, so just to give you an idea, mine took 28 working days, and working days is not a month, it's much more than a month. Oh yeah, and to add on, don't bother trying to message them and telling them like, oh, can you hurry up? I mean, you can, but they can't do anything about it. So I tried to actually, ask them like, hey, can I get a status update? Because what they would do is that they'll just kind of like show you, okay, it's in progress. So first of all, make sure that your thing is in progress. Let me just quickly show you mine. Wait, you can't see it. Maybe you can. So this is the page. Welcome me, and then after that this is kind of what you'll see. So it obviously looks different because I already completed the process, but if you click on order status, it will show like service name, order status. So over here they will write like in progress, and it will be in green. So if it's in green, then it's good. If it says like I think there's different things. So yeah, so for example, it'd be like, oh, checking, or like a incomplete application, basically action required by you, then just follow up on it ASAP so that they can process it. So as long as it's in progress and it's in green, then that means that you're good to go. Just wait, just wait. So one thing is that when you apply for this service, they'll ask you to pay as well. So if you haven't paid, that means the 30 days hasn't started. The 30 working days have not started. So make sure you pay. And this thing will be in red. I don't know why I need to know that, but obviously be red and cross. So once it's completed, they'll actually send you an email. So going back to, let's say if you want to ask them any questions or any queries, I honestly don't really know like what you would want to ask them, but for me, for example, I want to ask them, hey, is it possible to expedite it? Just take note that they take 5 working days to reply you via this like online chat service here. So you can like click on this messages button. I'm not going to show you what I said to them. It was nothing mean, but I don't think it's necessary. But yeah, so if you click on that, then you can just ask them, can you expedite it? They will say no. You can ask them like, can I get a status update? Maybe they'll tell you. So what happened was that I was like, okay, I think at the 20th working day mark, I was thinking to myself like, all right, it's taking a bit long. I mean, still within 30 days, of course, but I was getting a bit worried because I was on a tight timeline. So I asked them like, can I get a status update? And they were saying like they're waiting for the university to get back to them. So of course I was like, oh my gosh, like all this while I was thinking that they're taking their own sweet time, but I was like, okay, no, it's the university that has not replied them. So I wrote into my university and they were like, oh hey, we got the request like a month ago and we replied them within 3 days. 3 days. Yeah. And then when I tried to message them, I don't know, maybe it's like luck or something, but it crashed. Just was not connecting to the message or server, and I was like, okay, this is like killing me. So I decided to call them. So yeah, if you're calling from outside the UK, obviously the international like minutes apply, and I think it was like 70 cents per minute, which is ridiculous. Yeah, and it was just there's no point basically. So like the reason why I called is so that number one, I wanted to ask like, can I expedite this? I'm just gonna tell you, no, you can't. And then two, I wanted to check whether or not they received the verification on their end, because based on their message they told me like, oh, we have not received the verification yet. So I was a bit concerned, like, did it get lost somewhere or what? But I think it's just a standard reply that they give everyone, so rest assured, essentially. So I think like if it takes more than 30 working days, then maybe you want to consider like writing into them. But otherwise, there's not much point in you like asking them. Right, so once your this process is done, so what is this process exactly, right? So there's 2 things. So the first one is that what they're doing is they are checking with your university, whether or not you actually studied there, like is this cert real or fake? And then second one is also to check on your English proficiency. So because like this visa is kind of dependent on your education, so that's why they have to kind of ensure that you actually did study in that university, you were conferred that degree, and it's not fake essentially. Yeah, so based on that, once the process is completed, you'll receive an email, and then that will kind of redirect you back to the website where you can click on this like digital document download, and you'll get a document. So it'll be a 3-page document, one containing this what's it called? Let me switch. So I want to be factually accurate here. Okay, so there's 2 things. One will be the academic qualification level statement. So this verifies that your degree is genuine and it's equivalent to the UK qualification level. So in my case is that, okay, my bachelor's degree that I studied in Singapore is equivalent to the UK's bachelor's degree. And second one is the English language proficiency statement. So again, it verifies whether or not like your degree is genuine, and also whether the level of English language that was used for the course does it meet the requirements for the CEFR level C1. So once you get the HPI certification, now you can apply. So in order to apply, same page, just make sure you're clicking on the one that says apply from outside the UK. And when you click below, they'll say like apply for HPI Visa, so start now, and it'll redirect you to this page where you can start your application process. Of course, because I've already applied, so I won't be able to run you through this, but just click like where you planning to live: England, Scotland, Wales, or Northern Ireland. Right, so do I have a current one? No, I don't. Right, and then they will ask you like, okay, select the country. So here I can just type in Singapore. Right, and then you'll say like, I've identified the location, so we have a location, don't worry. Okay. So before you apply, read the full guidance on the eligibility, how to apply, fees, etc., and whatnot. So then you can apply. So over here you can see this kind of gives you a summary of like the fees you need to give and what you need to do. So essentially, what you need to do is you need to complete the form. So they ask you some questions, your passport or number, passport number, where you have traveled to, do you hold a dual citizenship, just like the administrative stuff, and then they'll ask you for like your parents' details as well, a bit more about like your housing in Singapore or wherever you're staying, like is it owned by you or what not. So just say like for me, I'm living with my parents and they own the place, so just type that in accordingly. So one thing is that they'll actually ask for your ECCTIS reference number. So here's the thing, right? You can't exactly apply for this unless you have the ECCTIS reference number. So you can choose not to type in the ECCTIS reference number. So just say you don't have a reference number, and they will let you know like, okay, so you must provide the ECCTIS documents when you give your biometrics. So what's happening is that after you apply for the visa, then you have to provide your biometrics. So you have to apply for like a appointment at the application center, and over there you will like provide your ECCTIS certification documents and stuff. So I would say like this process here, the filling out of this form, you can just leave it until, oh my gosh, it's flashing. Okay, anyway, so like you can just leave it until like you have your ECCTIS document. There's no point rushing this particular process here, because it's not like the faster I do this, the faster I'll get it. The visa can only be processed when they have all the documents, so there's no point trying to start this visa first. That's my take on it. But I think another thing is also like, what if the appointment slots run out and whatnot. I think I would say just be on the safe side and just wait for the ECCTIS reference number before you start on this application process. So over here, there will be two fees that you need to pay. So the first one is the health surcharge, and the second one is the visa fee. So after you fill up the application form, they ask you to pay this healthcare surcharge. So the healthcare surcharge is essentially like access to the NHS, and you have to pay for like every year you will be there. So depending on like if I'm applying with bachelor's, so they ask you to like state whether you're applying with bachelor's or are you applying with like a PhD. So based on that, they already have like their back-end calculation of like whether you should be paying for 2 years or 3 years. So for me, I had to pay for 2 years, and that actually amounted to, let me show you the cost on this website itself. Okay, so going back to this, so this part here, they do say how much does it cost. Okay, and over here very nicely they do state the whole application fee process. So as I stated earlier, £210 for ECCTIS, and then if you're applying from in the UK, it's a bit more. And then for the application fee for the visa itself, you have to pay £715, and then you have to pay the health surcharge. So it's usually £624 per year. So just times that by 2 for a bachelor's degree. So first, what you need to do is that after you fill up the application form, then they will ask you to pay this health surcharge. So just remember, like the moment you pay this health surcharge, right, you cannot go back and edit your form. So double, triple, quadruple check your form first before you pay this health surcharge. So after you pay the healthcare surcharge, then they'll ask you to pay this application fee. So once you have paid this application fee, then they'll redirect you to another page, and over there they will like basically list out like the list of documents you need. Let me just show that to you. After you're done with the application, you have paid for the healthcare surcharge and you have also applied for the visa. First of all, you can stop this application at any point of time and you can resume the application. They'll just send you the link to it, to your email. So don't worry about having to finish it in one sitting. And I hope you can hear me well because I'm not using my mic because it ran out of battery. Anyway, so as you can see here, it will show you like a page with the further actions you must complete. So over here, you can download the checklist. So there'll be this like part where you can show the documents, what you will need to submit to the visa application place. So your passport, your degree, confirmation from ECCTIS. So there'll be the two documents if you're applying for Singapore. So one would be the one that says like, okay, your English proficiency level is there. The second one is that your cert is certified and it is equivalent to the UK bachelor's degree. And then you also need statements from a personal bank. So for this, just like print out your e-statements. So one thing that you need to take note of is that you will need the money to be in there for at least 28 days. Okay, so let me show you where you can find this information on the UK website so you don't think I'm lying. I don't know why you would, but okay. So over here it says like you have to show that you can support yourself when you arrive in the UK. So you need at least £1,270 available unless you're exempt. So you can scroll down below and you'll find out exactly what. Oh yeah, look, it will state exactly how much you need to pay for your healthcare. So as you can see here, it will state that you need to have the money for at least 28 days in a row. And the day 28 must be within 31 days for applying for this visa. So what you need to do is you need to show like your bank statements, and I think to be on the safe side you can show like 2 months, so that if like because if you're applying in the middle of like a month and then the past month might be beyond, you just do the math. So you can just show your 2 months e-statements. And also to take note, like you have to show the daily spending because they want to see your 28 days. So that means that you can't just, okay, like one day before the application, let me just transfer the money over from somewhere else. And no, don't do that. Plan this early, or like, at least have like the money saved up. So there are some ways to go about this, and one way is like, let's say I did not do it personally. So for me, I use my own bank statement to show this. So you could possibly show the bank statement of perhaps like your parents, and I think one good thing to have is probably like a letter to state that you'll be using their funds, or like they kind of like authorize you to use the funds or something. Also you could use like a joint account. I think the best case scenario is to always have your name on the bank statement. So if like you're in a situation whereby you are unable to show that, I think definitely probably like look up a bit more. I won't be able to personally help on that. So after that, you click on provide biometrics and it will redirect you to like this VFS page, and you have to key in your email address and the reference number, or it will automatically be just connected. So I can't show you because I've already completed this part. So over here you can see that there's just like the page that shows a bit more information about VFS. So essentially VFS is like kind of like the external party, like they deal with like all this visa stuff. They do it for a few countries, not just the UK. So what you need to do is that you need to book an appointment with them. So the standard service, it's free of charge. You don't have to pay anything additional. But one thing is that you can opt for the silver premium package. I'm not trying to promote them, I'm just telling you why. So for the silver premium package, they have a walk-in option. So for me, in my scenario, my timeline was a bit tight and I really wanted to like capitalize on as many working days as possible. So if you pay for the silver premium package, then you can do a walk-in. Otherwise, I believe you're unable to do a walk-in because you have to click, you have to indicate specifically, when your appointment is. And another thing is that, if you're going to upload all your documents by yourself, you have to do it at least 24 hours before, because after 24 hours you will not be able to like click on that option. So just take note of that. And I think for that very reason, they also don't allow you to like book kind of for the next day. I mean, you could, but it'll be you have to pay additional. Like based on my experience, I saw that every time I was trying to see like the next day, they'll say that yes, it's available, but you have to pay like a figure in the hundreds or like $96 or something. So one way to go about it is to buy the silver premium package, and you can do a walk-in for like $50. Yeah, $50. Anyway, but yeah, so then with the silver premium package, again, I'm not trying to sell them because I have no affiliation with them, but VFS, please give me a visa. So anyway, so with the silver premium package, they will actually courier your passport to you. I did not opt for that because I just want to like pick it up myself and like ASAP get out, ASAP fly. And they also have a SMS service. Another thing is like the SMS service, honestly, they just tell you like, oh, it has been forwarded to UKVI, and then they probably tell me like, okay, it's ready to be collected or something along those lines. So actually it's nothing different from the standard service, so there's no additional like, oh, it's being processed or whatsoever, unless it is, and I don't know and I'm not updated. Anyway, so apart from that, they also gave me a SIM card. I don't know whether they give it to everyone, but they gave it to me, so I was like, oh, okay, I don't need to like settle that, so I don't know, that's a plus. They gave me like, I think 7 gig, 7 gigs is very little, at least in Singapore's context, because everything here like takes up so much data, I don't even know. So 7 gig of data for the first month. So the first month is free. Then after that, they also have like unlimited UK SMSs and calls. So pretty good, I would say. And you don't have to like care about scrambling and like finding like a SIM card ASAP. Yeah, so basically that's pretty much the process. So when you go to the VFS global place, I went there at like 7:45 a.m. So the place opens at 8. There was already a queue. Okay, I was like, whoa, it's at Cecil Street. You're outside, there's like no one inside. And then when you take out the lift to, I think, the 8th floor, 6th floor, there's just like a line of people. And I was like, whoa, this many people. But they're all there, applying for like visa to Canada, UK, Australia, whatnot. So a couple of places. You just go in and then just wait for them to call you. They just check your documents, and after checking your documents, then you will have to wait again in order to give your biometrics. So you don't have to print out any like passport photo, like passport size photos of yourself before going there, because they will take a picture of you, and they will also collect your biometrics, so your fingerprints. Yeah, and then that's pretty much it. So after that, you're done. Okay, you can go home. The whole process probably took about 15 minutes. It's really fast. I guess like go early if you're doing walk-in, because I don't know if they have a cab or anything. I don't think they do, but just get it out of the way, I suppose. Yeah, so that's kind of pretty much it for the process. So maybe I will update, maybe insert a clip of me collecting my passport so that I can fly. So with that, I wish you all the very, very best in applying for this high potential individual visa, and I hope that this video was like useful in terms of helping you out with the whole process. And if you have any other questions about the visa application, feel free to write them down below. I don't even know who's gonna watch this, but I hope like it's useful. So yeah, with that, that's the end, and hopefully I get my visa soon, and I'll be out of here. So stay tuned for more content. Hopefully the next video will be of me moving to London. And with that, bye bye.